Why is he so insistent that we're not going anywhere when that's what the heart, what Elijah Muhammad taught? That's what the scriptures say? That's what any sane person would want? Elijah Muhammad said very clearly, to be fools who want to stay here. He says, place will be burned up. Farrakhan knows best. Master Muhammad said, he came here to get us out of here. But Farrakhan is so insistent that we stay here. We ain't got to go anywhere. Why? Answer up that question. It goes against everything. It goes against scripture. It goes against Quran. It goes against Elijah Muhammad. It goes against Master Muhammad. He knows something special. Yet Elijah Muhammad spent 40-something years preparing you to go home. But Farrakhan, no, we ain't going anywhere. Why? So I'm going to go through this again in a different way, because this is that imminent, brothers and sisters. See, if I had talked about this 5 years or even 3 years ago, at this point in time, when it's at your door, you say, oh man, he been talking that years. He's had that stuff for years, man. You know, ain't nothing happened yet. That's the way most of you think, if you think at all. So I'm telling you right here, right now, because you never heard this before. I kept this totally on the low. Even the people who work with me had no idea about this. None until this past week. Because I wanted to make sure it had maximum effect and the eve of this happening. Because, brothers and sisters, this is going to happen in a few days. Not years, not months, in a few days. It's going to come to you sudden, so it's come like a snare. Come here all of a sudden. All of a sudden. Right? Like a snare. And it's going to catch many of you up. Our people lost for lack of knowledge. So brothers and sisters, I'm going to not go through it as carefully. Well, not, let me take that back. I'm not going through it as quickly as I did. Well, let me take that back. I'm not going through as slowly as I did, as detailed as I did previously, because I want to cover a few other things, right? But the presentation I did for you to view. This, you know, it's spoken of in the scripture, but it's like in very few places people don't pay attention. And then they tell you it's related to somebody else in another time. See, that's why Revelation is sealed. The sealed book, sealed, can reveal at a certain period of time when you're ready to receive it. As it says in the scripture, it's saying Jesus saying that person didn't exist that you think existed. Right? He says, there's many things I wish to tell you, but you can't bear to hear now. What I'm telling you today, I've been telling you all week, you could not have borne to hear this before. And you was just rejected right out of hand. Well, I'm telling you to be clear in your mind. Why? Because you're going to get a warning. You're going to get a final warning to flee. You'll get one final warning, and that's going to be clear in your mind so you recognize that warning. See? That's what I'm here to do. I'm to save you. I'm not here to destroy you. I'm not here to condemn you. I'm here to save you because you've already done your job as far as the Holocaust is concerned. But nobody's going to force you to leave here. And now you got to go through the final hurdle. And many are not going to make it, unfortunately. You got to the finish line and won't cross it. You're damaged. So that's why the 40 years in the wilderness was all about. Because they just couldn't take you to the promised land in that condition. Just couldn't take the promised land in that condition. I'm going to have to check. Oh, brothers, this is where is it? I get feedback on my presentation, so I need to check this to make sure everything is going okay. No, that's not a message, okay. You don't get a final warning. I'm here to make sure. See, I'm not condemning you. You're not condemned. There's not only one to condemn you now is yourself. There's no condemnation of you, brothers and sisters. It tells you that clear in the angel, right? It said, bless those who keep their garments, right? That you was in submission, you stay in submission unto the end. And that's how Master Muhammad found you. You filled your part of the contract. Now he's in the process of fulfilling his part of the contract. See? And that's my job. That's what I call the messenger of the covenant, to make the final fulfillment. See? I'm the one that have to make the fulfillment. He should fulfill his part, which is to give us transportation out of here, back to our home. It's my job to get you back. See, prepare you, clean you up, get your mind back. That's why he told you, he says, you will not return to your thorough knowledge of self. Who's going to give you thorough knowledge of self? As Muhammad didn't give you thorough knowledge of self. He started to teach you, but he's not giving you thorough knowledge of self. That would be Suleiman, as it says in Malachi, the messenger of the covenant will come and clean up, prepare you. That's what I'm here to do. But right now, after 30 years on the battlefield, constantly, I got the scars to prove it. Now we got people, especially a lot of folks, sitting there in their eye, with a thumbs up behind, thinking, oh, well, because now that I'm about to achieve my victory, now they want to join the battle. See, once they see victory, because of the war, because of the Middle East, that's looking at. That's not, when that war breaks out in the Middle East and Master Muhammad and his angels defeat dragons, that's not victory. Because we'll clean up the mess after that. That's not victory, because we already just defeated the devils, because now they're destroying themselves in Armageddon. Then we got the goat, death in Hades, China, India, right? They come over to clean them up, wipe them out. See, so they're on the run at that point. Their power is broken. That's how will break the pride of your power. Once their power is broken, that's our victory. So the Shia has Master Muhammad control the Middle East. We just have to go up and clean out the riffraff. They're going to fight against it, but it's ours. They're just going to clean out the riffraff because it's ours. Now returning home. You understand? That's our victory in that war day. That's what we're waiting for. Read chapter 12 says, now comes our victory. See, says accused by brethren cast. That means the demons. When that war, then demons are cast. That's when they cast down. That's our victory. But a lot of people wait. See, the victory now they want to get in the battle. No, we don't want you in the battle. We don't need you in the battle now. Now you got to go through tribulation. Then we got some people that, Johnny come ladies, right? After 30 years of me on the battlefield alone, now they pretend they want to go out and throw a few punches and think they're going to enjoy do a victory dance? You enjoy the spoils? You better read it again. It's all mine. I did the work. You better read it again. It's all ancient days. He gives it to Master Muhammad. He did the work. Master Muhammad is your God. But in ancient days, give the kingdom to him. So some people will be very disappointed. Because not only do they show up late, but then they only throw a couple of punches. See, I was with you. If you're going to show up late, you should be right. You're going to get right in the heat of battle. At least you can do that much. What's the battle? The battle's not being a parrot. I don't need anybody sit on the side, orchestrate my move. Oh, look, he's what they call it, I forget the word they use, right? to be in the battle. Echoes of an explosion is not an explosion. Echoing what I say. I don't need anyone to echo what I say. If I want that, I just keep playing my presentation over and over again. Why I need them to echo and I just play my presentation over and over again? Play it, keep playing it constantly. The Bible's in the atmosphere. That's the angel, uploading the angel. What's the point of uploading the angel if you don't do anything? It's like going out and purchase a gym and then you just tell everybody you got a gym, you don't go in it. They just hurt themselves, and like I said, I said a while back, about a year ago, I guess, and somebody called themselves, they got pissed off. I said, I don't care about your damn feelings. Muhammad didn't care about nobody's feelings. He didn't care about my feelings. I was homeless when I did Muhammad for 6 months. Nobody came to help me. We ain't about feelings. That's the problem is, we're about feelings for the last 40 years. They gave us reduced to feelings. And feelings weren't good. We ain't deal with mind, mathematics. If you don't have the power to make it to the hereafter, you're not gonna make it. Ain't nobody, I don't care if you son, daughter, father, whatever, cripple. It ain't gonna be like that. Oh man, he's crippled, let him go in. If you don't have the mind, I'm trying to tell you, if you don't have the mind power to make it there and survive, you're not going there. Because it's gonna be, everybody's gonna be powerful there. It's like going to a fight and everybody's, buff. Live 100,000, 500 pounds, everything else, and you going at 100 pounds weaker, you gonna get your ass kicked. It's all about the mind. That's why you have to get your mind back to the angel. Lift it. If you can't lift it, that's the qualification. They say, okay, you want to be part of this competition, you got to be able to lift 500 pounds. You got to lift 500 pounds and you can't qualify. When he goes to the Olympics, you got to qualify. If you can't lift the angel, you can't qualify. You can't qualify. So you can sit around, you can quote it and cite it and all that. You can do all you want to. Oh man, look, I can weigh it, man. I know what it looks like. I got pictures of it. Can you lift it? Can you lift it? That reminds me of this joke. They had a joke about Superman, right? Superman goes into a travel agency, goes to a search, job search agency, right? It says, man, I can leap tall buildings, man. I can, outrun trains, right? And I can bend solid steel with my bare hands. And the woman said, yeah, but can you type? See? All that's a bullshit. And they get upset. Don't get upset with me, I'm just telling you. Because if we let you in, you'd just be crushed when you got there. Because you walking around with your thumb behind, and you can't multiply 5 times 5, and everybody else is looking at you like you're stupid, because you are stupid, because you can't keep up. We getting out of this heart zone to the mind zone. See? Only one get helping hands and sisters. We're not going to we're gonna give sisters everything they can to support them, because they can get there. The point is, you got these sisters in the emotional zone because they protect themselves from you. You got them all emotional. Okay? So that doesn't apply to the sisters. I'm not going to put fear. We don't do that to our sisters. We get them there. We get them educated. We get their minds up to the par, and then that's up on them. We ain't leaving our sisters behind. Any sister that wants to go home, they going home. I don't care. Oh man, she's a problem. I don't want to hear it. If she ain't got, unless she got a devil on her arm, that's the only they ain't gonna have a problem with me. If she sleeping with the devil, got a devil in mind, that's it. Oh, then she going home. I don't give a damn what anybody say. And I'm protecting so you don't overpower them while they're there until they get ready. We don't put fear in our sisters. They already went through it for 400 years, and that's heartbreaking to me. That my sister had to go through that. That's heartbreaking. You you have no idea. That's heartbreaking. That our women had to go through that. To me, that was worse. That's the worst part of the Holocaust. Even if I had to go through it personally, that would be the worst part. The sister had to go through it. And I'd be damned if I'm gonna let anybody put through these sisters, and I'd be damned if they be left behind if they want to go. They're not going to tribulation, not going to any of that bullshit. They're going home. If they want to go home, they're going home. And nobody better get my damn way try to stop me. I won't hear from nobody. I ain't shit about anything. They're going home, period. And they're going to be protected while they're there, period. So you talk that Jesus shit and all that kind of stuff. Oh man, you going to hell, you'll believe me. You talk all that shit you went to. Sis going home. They're going to paradise. Unless they don't want to. So we get that straight. And I'm gonna keep saying it over and over again because ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They say every voice that speak against you be shut down. Any voice that speak against you just be shut down. Oh, this is good. You mess around and lose your tongue speaking against them. See, we owe a extreme debt to these sisters. I'm gonna make sure it's paid because we were supposed to protect them. We did not. And they had to go through the worst part of the Holocaust. So they going home. Sister, you out there, you going home. I don't care if you come late, whatever, but don't come too late because you missed the boat and you stuck. That's all on you. Right? But you show up the last minute or whatever, and you ain't got no devil on your arm, and you see with devils, that's all I want to know. Come on, sister. Come on in with your bad self. Come on in. We don't want to hear nothing about anybody got anything against you. Make that clear. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. What I want to do is I'm adding a little more to this because one of the problems is they tell you to have a choice. And most of you probably didn't know about the Abrahamic covenant. See, that's why they call it the message of the covenant, because I'm going to give you that message. Elijah Muhammad told you about it, but it didn't, obviously, either it didn't register or Farrakhan is successful in snatching it out of your minds. You have a choice. He's telling you don't have a choice, you have to stay here. You have a choice. That's it, come out of her, my people. You know, Farrakhan, this lying dog, he's a lying piece of shit. He's just lying, she's not a piece of shit, he just shit all over. But he cut himself with the honey of Elijah. And so now you think, oh man, look at that honey. He got NOI, he got the temple, right? We call him mosque. He got the sisters, he got the uniforms. He got all the honey of Elijah Muhammad, right? See? But when you start eating that shit, that honey, after a while, you start tasting the shit that's under it. Because he's total shit. He don't represent Elijah Muhammad in any way whatsoever. None. Total liar, total shit. That's what he is. I don't care if you like it or not. Because we out here to destroy them. That's what it says. It says soon I will come to destroy. It says who would consume with the spirit of his mouth. That's what I'm doing right now. And destroy. When the righteous ever come, destroy. Then it said kick ass and destroy. And that's what's in the process happening right now. So you consume. When you consume with the spirit's mouth, that's what's happening to right now. Some people say, he's mean and well, but he's got the wrong idea. You think that? No. We hate that dog. Because that's what he is, son of a devil. Now come after me. They've been threatening me lately. They've been threatening all they want to. I got protection. I don't necessarily need it, but I got it. I know how to protect myself. See? But I got it. See? From the Master Farad Muhammad, I got his protection. Not the kind of protection that Farrakhan talks about, like, right? There's some false Jews stick pillars up his ass, blow his ass up. You gonna have protection? I don't want that kind of protection. That's the kind of protection I'm getting. I don't want it. Please, save it. He's protected. Is that protection? Get your ass blown to pieces? that fool is a joke. He's a total joke. As unbelievable They have anybody's even with them. But we know most people with them are demons anyway. So they don't have no choice. But the rest of you must be damn idiots or jokes. A lot of just agents. But that clown, there's nothing to support anything he says. Nothing. Then we got his ass blowed up. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. We got his ass blowed up. Oh, he taking it. He's taking. But he said he's taking down the satanic general. He's taking down the satanic. He's taking down the satanic Jew like they took their ass down. That dude is such a joke, man. I mean, ooh, right? He's such a joke. I'm taking down. Look at me. I'm the son of perdition, man. I mean, no, but he's the one that's taking down son of perdition. That's what he said. What he said. That's the false Jews. He claimed that's he's saying son of perdition, which is him. He exposing false Jews. I'm exposing them. They expose your ass. They expose your dumb ass. They blew your ass up. Oh boy, it's so funny. Hey, you think you bad already? You think your ass ball was bad? You watch what happens next. Excuse me, brothers. This is that clown, but it's a joke. Anybody got any sense know that way he don't represent like Mama in any way, form, or shape. All you got to do is look at those lessons. Do what Elijah Muhammad said. Watch it, look on YouTube what he says about it. About Americans we burn up, totally burned up. But yeah, he gonna stay here. Well, he's lying, but Fire come out lying about that part. Because he's not going anywhere. Him and his demons ain't going anywhere. So if that's what it means, he's right. But we ain't going somewhere. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. Got his ass blow it up. Tell me you got protection. All right, brother, excuse me. I apologize. Okay. What I'm going to do here is, I'm working several systems, brothers, and I'm on live on 2 platforms, so I'm still trying to work this out. Several laptops I'm working with and everything else. And it's just me, I don't have nobody in the background, right? So what I'm talking about basically is, I'm not going to go through this in detail, right? So you can read at your leisure. But look at Exodus when Moses leaves. Now, one of the things you notice right here is that they don't mention Aaron in this situation. They don't mention Aaron. See, because Aaron, that's Pharaoh. He's a liar. He deceived the people. He tried to turn people back to Egypt. See, he had people worship the golden calf. He got all the people killed, including himself. He was denounced by Elijah. But yeah, they say, oh, he's Aaron. And no, you better read that again. He wasn't anointed. God didn't want him. When Moses kept insisting, God got angry at him and says, well, you don't need him. So he tried to say, God chose him where? Show me in the scripture where Aaron was chosen by God anywhere. He didn't want him. He got angry at Moses for even asking about him, even requesting him. Anyway, this is the angel key. I'm not going into detail. I want to get to the main point, so I'm going to go through this pretty rapidly. I'm not going through all the different points here. I'm getting to a certain point here. Because, see, when they're talking about, he's like, we ain't crossing the Red Sea. That's not the Red Sea over there. The Red Sea represents the African country. That's the red on top there. I got it as winds, but they also represent wind or sea also. It depends on the chapter. The symbol, the puzzle, the key doesn't change, but the symbols change depending on the chapter. See? So, I'm going to show you, get down to, I'm going to move on. And see, so you see where it's moving around here. That's not something I just do arbitrarily. That's the sequence that the angels tell you how these things move around. So the wars occurred. The wars occurred. I just showed you where the wars occurred, right? So let me back here. This is where before the war, right? This is during JCPOA when Obama was president, right? He's up top. He was the president. He was riding that white horse, right? And the witnesses were on the foot of the nations. That's doing JCPOA. So it's not going. I'm not going step by step and just jumping the court, but the sequence remains the same. I'm just like fast forwarding through it. Okay. So now we're at this point right here, and it corresponds with what you read on the left. But I'm not going to read all that stuff, right? The war's taking place. False Israel under siege. See, war's taking place. False Israel under siege. Okay. And that one I was talking about, that's the one, that's the final one you're going to get. When that's about to happen, the war in the Middle East, that's about to happen. It's going to happen before Armageddon, which is the European war. This is the final one you're going to get. Because the false Israel goes under siege, what's going to happen to them is, Scripture says, they're under siege, not their nuclear weapons will be neutralized, they're going to be defamed, right? They're surrounded by armies. Remember, it said when Jerusalem, you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies is destruction. They didn't say it's redemption, it's destruction. But the Christians, they tell, oh, that's redemption, that's when Jesus will come and save them. That ain't what Scripture say. They're making that shit up because they don't want you to realize you see Abraham. It says, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, it says there's destruction. It's not, but the Christians tell you there's redemption. That's when Jesus will come and save them. And they're crazy because if you watch the Jews, they hate Jesus. They hate him. The Muslims love him, but they're against the Muslims. The Shia, the Sunni and the Shia, they love him. They're against them, but they're for the Jews over there, and they hate him. They say Jesus right now, they'll tell you. They believe that Jesus right now is in hell, boiling his own shit, excrement. That's what they believe. I don't have to make it up. You can Google it. Actually, you can Google it. See, but yet these Christians say they love the Jews, who say their God, who they believe their God, is in hell, boiling his own shit. Now put that together. See, now tell me I'm lying. Go prove I'm lying. All you got to do is Google it. Prove I'm lying. See, they don't want you to hear this stuff. That's why it's a deep, dark secrets. So that's why I just said the destruction will be not the redemption. That means they're going to be destroyed at that point. That's what you see. False Israel surrounded by armies. So when they surround, they're going to siege, and this siege is going to be similar, be a preview of the siege was about to take place in America. That's why it says men's hearts will be failing for fear of those things coming upon the earth. Men's hearts will be failing for fear of those things coming upon the earth. Earth represents European countries. At the bottom down here. See, the sackcloth, that's the Shia, Iran and Syria. They represent mid-heaven, which is between heaven and the earth. See, the heavens are what you see above the earth. Earth's at the bottom down there. See, and so it's about America specifically. Men's hearts will be failing for fear of those things coming upon the earth because the powers have to be shaken. So that means if something happened in the heavens, the power, who's in power in the heavens? Who's controlling the Middle East? America being the false Israel. But that power is about to be broken. I'll break the pride of your power. When it's broken, that means right here they kicked out the false Israel under siege. Right? Now no food coming, food out. So they must start eating each other. Because they don't have no food. They're going to cut off all their food supplies, right? They're on the sea, and it's going to be broadcast all over the world. They have drones flying over there, cameras, because they're not being knocked down because they've already been defamed. And they're going to see them eating each other after about a few days. Because they don't have any food. No food coming in, no food, and they ain't able to get nobody that's going to get out. It says none of them will escape. They will not get out of there. See, that's why men's hearts be filled, because now you're going to see that. And that says, and now they know, because now the truth is clear, that false Israel is false. They're not true because they're being destroyed. That means we must be true to Abraham. That means what's happening here is just a preview of what's about to happen here in America. You understand? And so that's why I say, when you see that, flee. Flee, that's your last one. Because when you see that, right, that means they're going to be eating you. Because who are you fleeing from? You flee from dragons or dogs or cats. You flee from somebody else that's different from you. Because how do you know to flee from them? You flee from somebody else that's different from you. Who are you fleeing from? You got to ask yourself these questions. Every time you flee from who? Who are you fleeing from? Fleeing from Pharaoh's armies. But you're not fleeing from the army and the navy and the police force, because they say you don't have time to even go back in the house to get your coat or nothing. That's not police force. That's not an army, because it takes some time to get to you. You're talking about your next door neighbor. The one you're sleeping in bed with. Why? Because at that time, they're already going to be during the siege. That's when it says they know to come from earth, because the famine's already started when this happens. So they know that's what's happening. That's why they know it's coming to the earth, because it already started when this happens. And so they know it's going to be here, hit here, just like it's hitting there. Men's hearts be failing for fear of those things coming upon the earth, because the powers of heaven be shaken. Now they have fear, it hasn't gotten here yet, it's coming. But they fear in anticipation which thing they're going to do when it actually get here. And there's no food. And you fleeing. Why are you fleeing? Who's fleeing? You're the one that's fleeing. Because now they know you're a true Savior. Why are you fleeing? Who are you fleeing from? Why? You're fleeing from white folks. But why are you fleeing from white folks? Right? They want to kill you. Why do they want to kill you? They want to kill you, all right. But is there another reason? Remember, because what's happening over there, see, think about it. They're not fearing what's happening as far as because of being killed. They fear because the camels, they're eating each other. The famine. That's what they're fearing. Because they're not killing, they are killing each other, eating each other, right? But that's the main thing. Because they're under siege. And so that's their fearing. Because it's going to be a famine here. Because that's what's driving it. And you know, if there's a famine here, they're going to be eating people here too. And who's going to eat you? Because you're 3/5 human. Legally, you're 3/5 human. I'm going to speak to that a little bit. I'm not going to go a lot of details on that. I'm just going to say basically, this has been planned for a long time. It's in the Constitution 3/5 human. Now ask yourself, if America is, I'm going to show you in a minute. It says there's not going to be any food here at all, none, zero. It says there won't be any birds, no fish, anything. No food, zero. When I say no food, zero. Nothing to eat, nothing. No, it's nothing. All your food in the refrigerator, all is gone. There's no food to eat. Now, when that happens, and say you're a week into that, just 1 week into it, and especially these devils, they can't miss a meal. They miss breakfast and they're about to have a heart attack. They miss lunch, you better leave out. If somebody come in your job and you work on a job somewhere, a loose slave job, right? And somebody tell me, I miss breakfast and lunch, you better get out of here. Because they get ready to become a mass shooter. It's told, they miss breakfast and lunch? They tell me, I'll be out of here. See, what you think America would be like if that happens? And they ain't missed a meal, and now they haven't eaten in a week, and there's no food anywhere, none. President not eating, Congress not eating, Supreme Court not eating, right? And you're not even human. 3/5, it says in the Constitution. Obey the Constitution. Who's gonna argue with that? Right? They 3/5 human, we can eat them. Who's gonna argue with that? Oh, I'm gonna take Supreme Court. They haven't eaten anything to eat. That's gonna solve the American problem. You're gonna be food on the table. Who's gonna argue with that? Your so-called demons? Oh man, y'all can't pass that bill. Okay, stop us. And then you better not be around when you finish. That bill go through like lightning. And you're gonna be afraid. They got you right there, so you ain't gonna get out the hall. Eating right on the spot. And they don't need to pass a law to do it. That's just to give you conscience. See, because since the law, you're not really human, so now people feel so bad about it. Because they're going to corral you, brothers and sisters. We're going to talk about it. the ones they catch, that's how you flee. The ones they catch, they put a corral just like they do cows and stuff. Put you in rooms or whatever, big rooms, lock you up, right? And they're gonna buy and sell you just like they buy and sell food, but cows and stuff. Give me that little baby there. Give me that woman there, because they got tender meat. They're not buying and selling you to work, brothers and sisters. They buying and selling you. And I got the scriptures to prove it. I'm gonna show it to you in a minute. To eat. So are you crazy? I'm gonna show you the scripture. And it's clear. It's not in Spanish, it's not in French. You ain't gotta decode it, right? You ain't gotta figure it out. It's speaking clear language. So anyway, that's the last one you're gonna get. When you see that, then you realize, hey, that's how to come here, is just flee. Flee me. That's when all black folks will come together. They all come together now, say their ass. But we don't want half of them, because half of them are demons. They didn't care nothing about you before. They was the ones selling us interracial marriage to you, and we're gonna stay here and love the devils. Devils ain't devils no more. All of them, and now all of a sudden, they want to be with you because they're trying to say theirs, because now they're under attack. They be under attack because you're food now. You're the only food that's available. Just say, so what would America look like if there's no food here for a whole week? And it's gonna go on forever until America's totally destroyed. It's not gonna relax. And that's a whole year. You go a whole year without eating? Anyway, brothers and sisters, then that's false Israel goes down. That's when Suleiman goes to the NOI, and the NOI was under Britain here. But they also say when you flee, right? It says, woe to those who are pregnant, because wrath is upon them. What are they talking about that? See, you think they're talking about pregnant women. They ain't talking. See right here we see America and Britain right there. Under them are black people. Let me go back a little bit just to show you what I'm talking about. See, that's those ones that's pregnant. That's the wrath was upon. See, but see, you listen to Farrakhan and they have no idea what you're talking about, and they're demon. See right there. See right there, where the wheat and the barley is. See, that's what's under America and Britain. They're the ones that's pregnant. That's what it means. You have to understand it's key for that. It says wrath upon them. It's total wrath of God is upon them, and it starts out with famine. See, because America and Britain, especially America, but Britain came out of Magog, the land of Gog. Came out of the land of Magog, right? Which Britain is Magog, and God, America is God. They came out of Magog, the land of Magog, right? Out of Britain, right? And everything they got, they stole. They came out they stole, killed, destroyed everything they got. None of this is theirs, and they got 5 years of theft, and they eat right now. They eat other people's food. They invest in other people's land. See, and then they got us over here, right? Live off our blood and sweat and ingenuity. So now, justice says take it all back from them. That's what it says. I'm going to show you that in a few minutes. It says all that take back. The food, no food now. Where did the food begin with? Now you have no food. And then you're going to have, he said you're going to take away from the land. You ain't going to never come back here again. So the land's taken away because it wasn't yours to begin with. That's justice. See, that's my Jesus. Or you just believe in Jesus and you can do all the evil you want. And is that the way that works? Is that how that works? Because if that's the way Jesus rules, then what the hell you got a problem with Satan? You do anything you want, all kinds of evil. Just believe in Jesus. You understand? So, all this they stole, ripped up, and so now it's taken away from them. All is taken away from them. So they're gonna the country gonna take away from the country. They ain't never come back again. Right? All the food, no more food. Okay. Then they'll be able to live up us anymore. All that's gonna take. That's justice, and that's happening. It says it happened suddenly, and it's gonna last at least a year. That's the first stage of it. See, that's breaking them totally down. And then they got 700 years of just total hell, or 70 years. Who you talk to? Because the Quran says 70 cubics, and everybody's got a different explanation of what that means. That means 700 years, it means 7,000 years, it means 70 years. And they're going to be in total hell. That's no story together. I ain't worried about that right now. That's their problem to worry about. They won't be around me. So that's what I mean by the pregnant. Women was pregnant those days. Not women just physically pregnant. It's about America and Britain. They're the ones that's pregnant. See, so listen to fire, ask fire, come what that means. So now somebody comes, cleans up, eye, right? So we're gonna move on. You can read at your leisure, brothers and sisters. It's there. I'll move on to main point here. See here. Okay, this is the part here. Now, you gotta be very careful of this. You see up top there, that's the elect, 24,000. They're the ones that left Egypt first. Those ones that Pharaoh said, hey, they're leaving here. So they got out. See? And better say is they fled. So So the rest of them are fleeing. They're trying to flee. See? Let's back up again. Remember the barley and wheat, see, that's the original people, right? But 3 of them are corrupt. That's the demons from master slave raping our women for nearly 500 years. See? So now they're fleeing. Remember, falls is finally gone down. See? They're supposed to flee when they first saw that. Many of them didn't. Anyway, so at this point, right? They fleeing Pharaoh's armies, chasing them. Pharaoh's armies attacking them, see? Remember, it was under Pharaoh, so it was being attacked. It was under American Britain. It was being attacked, right? So now they're fleeing. So that's what they fled, right? But what happened, it says, first of all, let me back up here again. I make sure I jumped the gun on this one. Okay, I went a little fast here, but anyway. You see, the wind separated the sea. Now the Red Sea, remember these reds also represent the sea also. So the wind separated the Red Sea. They also call it the wind. That's where it separated. And that means now they was able to come up on dry land. See? And we see blood there. Like I said, I didn't go through, I got a lot, there's a lot to this. Now, I didn't go through and name everything exact because it's called blood, but the one see blood, that's also Elijah. Now, that's wrong. Back up. That's not wrong. What's it last night, Elijah? That's Ahmed. Excuse me. At any rate, it's separated. Right? Okay. So, but what happens to the sea after it's separated? That's the Red Sea. It's separated so they came through the dry land. Right? Because Moses almost chased them. That's down here. It was attacking them. So they escaped. Because Moses parted the sea using the winds with his rod. So you read at your leisure. Not going to all the nuances, right? But it says, sons of Israel went through the midst of the sea and dry land, and the waters were like a wall on them on the right and on the left. There it is. See, the waters on the right and the left like a wall. That's what it's saying. So to get to the main point here, brothers and sisters. That's the only reason I'm doing this because I'm sure we have. This is what it means. Doesn't mean we're further contact. We're not going to go across the Red Sea there. Because they don't know what I'm talking about. This angel king that's talking about. Okay, there's a lot of nuances in between here. I'm not going into it, brothers and sisters, but not now. Maybe another time. I've done it before. I've had presentations that talks about this. Oops. There it is. And then it says what the sea closed in on them. That's all the four winds. It closed on Pharaoh's armies and drowned them. That's what's talking about, brothers and sisters. That's what it's talking about. Now we're going to cross the Red Sea somewhere. See? So like I said, I got some nuance here I'm not going to. That's the finish of the four winds. Now that wind up there between the barley and the wheat, that's Elijah. But I'm not going into detail about that. See? Okay. Okay, I just want to show you. That's our deliverance. Has nothing to do with going through the Red Sea and everything. That's for angel. I'm going to tell us explain more. I just want to go to that part. I just want to talk about that part, right? So I have presentations go through all of it. So I'm going to go through this part here. I'm going to mention a few things. I'm going to highlight a few things here. This is what I'm going to highlight. So you say it's not in the scripture. Here's the scripture right here. Now, I didn't note the book that was in, but if you just Google this, Google say, "Hear now, O leaders of Jacob." It's going to bring it up. It's going to tell you the book and come bring it up. Okay, so we don't want to hide anything here. Then I said, "Hear now, O leaders of Jacob, and you rulers of the house of Israel." See, we're Israel, but they think people look at this, they think they're talking about our people. No. Who's ruling us? Who's leading us? It's not us. So it's talking about America and Britain. Not talking about us, because we're under their rulership, we're under their leadership. We don't control anything. See, so you assume they're talking about the leaders of Israel, our leaders, and we're still under their control. It's talking about them, right? Should you not know justice? Or worse, should you not face the consequence of what you've done? That's what's asked you. You should not face the consequence of what you've done? Should you not know justice? Justice consequence. See, they think they're going to face consequence of what they did. See, now it's telling you what they did. Some of it. This is the part I really want you to pay attention to. You hate good and love evil. That's them. They hate good and love evil. We've been suffering nothing evil from them since they've been here. All the stuff they've done, they killed the native population, genocide, stole their land, got on a reservation someplace, they killed the women and children. They brought us over here and beat us to hell, beat the shit out of us for 400 years. You know what they did done? And what was it good in that? You love good, and you hate good and love evil. Make leadership less than nature. Now, you tear the skin from my people now and strip the flesh from their bones. That's you repair an animal after you kill them. For to eat, you tear the skin from my people and strip the flesh from their bones. That's what you do to the animals. That's flaying them. Once you kill them. They do it to us. He ain't saying do it to animals, but they consider animals. They do it to us. Who's doing it? Them. That's what they're going to do to us. So you think I'm making this up? Google it. I guess I put it out there and Google it and said, whatever. Now listen, be clear so you understand. It ain't that they doing it for fun. You eat. They do it to eat the flesh of my people after stripping off their skin and breaking their bones. Tell you, that's the person doing that. To eat us, to flay us and everything, to eat us. You chop them up like flesh for the cooking pot, like meat in a cauldron. Brothers and sisters, if that's not clear enough for you, there's no bad translation here. There's no computer in here. You gotta decipher that. That's clear language. It had never happened to false Israel in the past. And if we are his, it has happened to us. So it means it's going to happen. You eat the flesh of my people after stripping off their skin and breaking their bone. They'll eat us. Like they eat a pig or hog. As they said, that's what you do. Right? You strip the flesh off, what you do, flay them, take the bones out and all that stuff, right? And chop them up, right? You chop them up like flesh for the cooking pot. Make your steaks and stuff. Nigger steaks. You think that's a joke? That's what it's telling you right here. So, well, who's that applying to if not talking about us? So I want to have mastered. That's why I wait till now to tell you, because you'll be experiencing it in a few more days, literally. But they're gonna break the famine up, break the food supply in a few more days. You hate good and love evil. You tear skin from my people. I'm repeating this, and strip the flesh from their bones. Just make sure you get it. You eat the flesh of my people after stripping off their skin and breaking their bone. You chop them like flesh or cooked pot, like meat in a cauldron. How clear can you be, brother and sister, on this? How clear can you be? Oops, I went too far somewhere. Okay. Then they cried out to the Lord, but he would not answer them. At the time, he will hide his face from them because of the evil they have done. So, it's not to us. Because remember, they didn't want to do any evil. Be consumed uselessly for your land. Be consumed uselessly for your land will not yield this produce. Whose land? We don't have to control this land. That's Europeans control this land. They're talking about them, not us. See? So you want to stay here, this is what you're facing. See if I kind of save your ass. See? So I will make this city a desolation, an object of scorn, and who will pass by will appalled, they will scoff at their wounds. That's me. America's going down hard, right? I'll make them eat the flesh of their sons and daughters. This is carefully. I'll make them eat the flesh of their sons and daughters. They will eat one another's flesh for the siege and distress inflicted on them by the enemies who seek their lives. They're going to be on the siege. Remember I said forces are going to siege? Now they're on the siege here. Who? By the goat that's coming across the west. If you're not touching the ground, it's China, India. They're going to put America under siege. I'll make them eat the flesh of sons and daughters. Now, I'm going to be back. Keep this in mind. I will make them eat the flesh. They already said they could eat our flesh, right? I'll make them eat the flesh of sons and daughters, and they'll eat one another's flesh, right? See? Sons and they eat another flesh for the siege, in the siege, and during the siege, and distress and affliction on them by the enemies. Yeah. I will make them eat the flesh of their sons and daughters. They will eat one another's flesh in the siege and distress inflicted on them by the enemies who seek their lives. See, so they're gonna put them on the siege. See? They're not gonna have any mercy, none at all. Okay, let's move on, brothers and sisters. Because America's been kicking everybody's ass, everybody sanctioning everything. They the 666. Who's doing? See, these people not so much. It's obvious. America 666. They're the only one putting flanks on everybody else. If you don't, if all this, that's streets. In there, it's street. It's the beast that's slain by a sword, right? Was healed, was wounded, right? That's killed, that was wounded by death, but his wound was healed. The one the image of the beast that was wounded by a sword, right? That's false Israel, whose government is the same image as Britain, right? That's what his image of it. And Britain was wounded by the sword, which means whenever it was a world empire until lost India, and then that's the sword. But I'm not going into that kind of detail. And then, and those three, and what was their power? Sanctions. You couldn't buy or sell anything, right? They had control of that. They the ones that, it's obvious, but oh man, it's some antichrist coming, something. They fool you left and right. It's right there. 666 is them three. Their skin shriveled up, bones has been, okay. Those killed by sword, better off than those with no hands, passionate. Okay, this is the part. Those killed by sword are better off than those who die of famine, racked with hunger, that waste away for lack of food from the field. See, there's no food from the field, no food at all, right? With their own hands, compassionate women have cooked their own children. These compassionate, soft women, right? They've cooked their own children who became their food. Listen carefully. When my people were destroyed, that means after they destroyed us, they ate us everything. Then they went after their own children. See, when my people were now our being were destroyed. They were destroyed already. They're gone. So now that seeds are bad. So they don't have access to us anymore, right? So now they eat their own children. So eat us first. There's other verses that confirm that. See. And so anyway, what would they rather do? If it came to it, would they rather eat you or their children first? Who would they eat first? Okay, when I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, these will come fast like an arrow, and which shall be for their destruction. The famine is to destroy them, right? Not redeem, destroy them. And which I'll send destroy you. It's for destroy. So if this happened to false Israel in the past, they shouldn't exist anymore, should they? If this happened in the past, it said destroy them, not to redeem them, not punish them. They shouldn't exist anymore. They shouldn't be around anymore if they happened in the past, right? And I will increase the famine upon you and will break your staff of bread. So I will send upon you famine. Okay, I'm not trying to read that, brothers, just because I don't have enough contrast there. It's kind of difficult to read. Anyway, you can read your own leisure. It's important. That's what I'm doing this again, brothers. I might do it a few more times because you're going to be in it a few more days. Okay, you can read it. I'm not going to go through all each one of them. I'm going to go through the specific ones, right? Okay. The land will be blackened by the fury of the Lords of heaven's armies. See, boy, if you understood that one, ooh. The people will be food for people with food. The people will be fuel for the fire, right? With fire, and no one will spare even his own brother. So which thing to do with you? They want to spare their own brother. What's the thing to do with you? Because you got people tell, oh man, the white folks ain't gonna do to us, and they already done it to you for 20 years, but you still holding on, believing that Jesus and all this stuff, okay? But they're gonna prove you they're the devil, but some of you not gonna find out until you got a spigot shoved your ass, and they rotate you on one of those poles, right? Baking your ass, right? And you got an apple in your mouth. Then you're gonna realize, but it's too late then. Devils are devils. Okay, here we go. They will attack their neighbor on the right, but will still be hungry. That means they will attack their neighbor. That's why I said, that's why you got to flee. Because it's not the army and the police force coming after you, it's your own neighbors. The only way that you out there with them, you love being around them, it's your own neighbors is going. That's why you got to flee. It's your own neighbors. They will attack their neighbor on the right hand and still be hungry. Why would they still be hungry? Because if you're in the community, right, says 10 or 20, but you got a community of 100, 200 white folks, then you ain't enough food to solve all their hunger. They're going to be hungry as hell. They're going to get a piece of you. They're still going to be hungry. Because they ain't got no stores of refrigerator. They ain't gonna be electricity that do that time. So they ain't got no way to store it up. They still be hungry. See? Because most time you out there, you're a minority out there anyway. So it's maybe 100 of them, maybe one of you. Right? They will devour their neighbor. They will eat their neighbor. They devour their neighbor on the left, but will not be satisfied. They eat you, they still gonna be hungry. Because family, there's no food anyplace else. You just the food, they ate you, they're still hungry, right? Because remember, they eat 3 meals a day. If they miss breakfast, man, they're all upset. They miss lunch and they about to, go and become a mass shooter. In the end, they will eat, carefully, in the end, they will eat their own children. That means eat you first. They already ate their pets. Some of them eat you for their pets. They ate their pets. There's no food. They already ate all their pets. There's nothing else. And then eat you, and then eat their children. Remember I said earlier? Keep in mind, eat your children. Eat you first, and then eat your own children. That means they're going to eat their own children. That means either they can't get a hold of you, or they ate all of you up. Remember, they can't get satisfied. Either they can't get a hold of you, or you're all gone, right? Or you are eaten up. Because they're going to get to their children. So you're not around to eat anymore. For some reason, they can't get to you, or maybe in the season, they eat you there, but in their community, they can get children. But they say they eat you first. In the end, they eat their own children. All you say is, okay, that's the scripture. You claim to read the Bible. God's word. I ain't make this up. It's in you, Google it. It's God's word. Right? So you want to hear it, you want to listen to it, you want to pay attention to it, okay? Then when you're on all fours, on a dinner table with apple in your mouth, right? And with a skewer stuck up your ass, right? See? They tell me I was wrong. And they're going to mock you. I don't know what they call those things, but I've never done it before. But they stick a lot of you behind, right? They put a fire. And they have you on the fire, they rotate you. Now, the natives of this country used to do that to white folks when they caught them. They used to take them, and I don't know if they stuck you behind or whatever, but they had some kind of way that they could attach that rod, and then they take all their clothes off and everything, and slowly, I don't know if they ate them at the end of it, but they would slowly rotate them around under the fire, and you hear them screaming. I mean, they have movies about it. He's screaming out, because it takes hours and hours for them to die. But they keep rolling that fire, it's burning them. And it takes hours for them to finally re-roasted to die. And sometimes take all night. I see movies when they're old, they don't show too many of those old movies anymore. John Wayne, all them, they had one all night long. And all the soldiers, they couldn't do anything, because they heard the soldiers screaming, they couldn't do anything. Because there was too many Indians there. Right? We're not really Indians, right? But in a way, I mean, they came from India. See? And that's what some of you end up. It's showing you right here, some of you end up like that. Let's look at it another way. How you gonna say some of you not end up like that? We just told you that's what they could be doing. So they got only you can do it. That means they got to have some of you to do it with. Some of you end up like that. Some of you listening right now is going to end up in that situation because you ain't listening. Because it didn't say, if you attack my people, I mean, if you caught my people, you're going to do it to them. Say, everyone F in it. It says, that what you was doing to my people. You was eating them. You was tearing their skin off, right? And you was flaying them, right? And you was chopping them up. That means they had black. Said, my people, you was doing it to them. Because somebody didn't flee in time. Somebody, demons, they don't matter whether they flee or not. Because they're going to be a demon war. But the point is, Some of you that ain't demons going to caught up in that because it tells you there. Because you didn't want to pay attention. That's you end up. And the thing is, they're going to, see, when they put you in a thing like that there, you don't die right away. They slowly cook you. So you're howling and screaming. And they would say, hey boy, what's LeBron doing? See, what's the score? What's the NBA score? See, what the Eagles doing? And, see, they be mocking your ass. See? Anyway, brothers and sisters. You're being told. That's my job. Farrakhan tells you, he don't know anything about it. See, the reason I waited like this here, because almost there, if I said a year ago, somebody might be trying to piggyback on it. Trying to say it told. Because nobody told you this. No one told you about this. No one before me. No one. First time you've heard this, ever. From anybody. And it's only days away. Nobody can claim and deceive you on this one. They got time. So you can't say, oh man, no, it's clear. It's clear. Where we at, bro? Where we at here? Okay. I think we're almost there, brothers and sisters. Okay. Okay, this one here. Look at the bottom here, verse 25. So there was a severe famine. This is how severe the famine is going to be. In Samaria, they kept besieging it. Remember, America's going to be under siege. No food coming, no food going out, right? That's America will be attacked. Farrakhan say, oh man, America ain't going to be occupied. Okay. They're going to take America. It's going to be under siege, right? It'll be invaded. It kept besieging until a donkey's head was sold. See, when siege happens, there's still going to be a little food left. But it's telling you, it's on the way to no food at all. Under siege, remember the famine started, right? So it's just telling you how bad it's going to be. So most of you are going to be no food anyway, because this was trying to tell you here. Even if you got, even if there's a little bit of food, that's what's going to go. It says, for a donkey's head be sold for 8 shekels of silver. Now I don't know what 8 shekels of silver is, but what it's trying to tell you is, it's like maybe $1,000, $2,000 is how much you're going to pay for a donkey's head. Because silver is expensive. Right? So that's how you're going to be. In other words, you ain't going to have enough money even to buy a donkey's head. If they had it. That donkey's head means the meat's gone, it's just the head. How much food, how much meat's on a donkey's head? And that's how much you're going to pay for it. That's how hungry you're going to be. And how long that's going to last? Go a little further, right? And a fourth of a cab of dunks. So I don't know that is a pound or whatever, right? See, I didn't go, for 5 shekels of silver, right? So a donkey was sold for 8 shekels of silver, and so, right? So say I was like $800 for that, it'd be $500 for a dove's dung, dove shit, bird shit. That's how hungry you'll be. You'll pay $500 for just a little bit of dove shit. So if with inflation never done, you ain't got no money, so you ain't gonna be able to afford it anyway. What's trying to tell you is, with the little food there is, you ain't gonna be able to afford it anyway. And that's the only kind of food it's gonna be. A donkey's head with no meat on it whatsoever, right? Or bird shit. Bird shit. They're trying to tell you how severe this conform is. That's what I said. And there was severe famine. They're trying to give you choices, the severity of it. See, if there was food, that's the best food they would have. If there was any food at all, that's the best food. Now, how long is that going to last? Bird shit and a donkey head. They're trying to get your attention, brothers and sisters. I'm not going to, I'll paraphrase this one. Basically what's going on here is, this woman had a son, and 2 women, each one had a son. So one woman, the other one says, well, see what's going on here? They're trying to give you the severity, psychology, what's going on. So woman says, hey, I tell you what, if you take and kill your son and we eat your son today, remember, Now, remember they said it couldn't get filled? Now these women, they're going to eat the son today. She going to talk to her, eat the son today. And then tomorrow we eat my son. So women, hold it. You mean that's not going to last you a day? Think about that one, for one. It says, if you eat my son, right, you cook mine, we cook mine, you cook your son, we eat it. And then tomorrow we'll cook mine, you can. See? And that's an agreement this woman was trying to make with her. So you got to look between the lines and remember, oh, you mean in one day? And how can you finish with a son in one day? And then you're going to kill the son? Well, that's the agreement. So both of them going to, so remember, because the son's going to be eaten. What's going on? And so it's a lot more detail here. I'm not going to, brothers and sisters. And so we cooked it. Say he cooked everything, right? So they ate the son. And then the next day, the woman that made the deal, she hid her son from the woman. She went, and that she was trying to tell the king here, what the hell? I mean, and I mean, the king is deliberating over this. So he's not concerned about eating each other, reading between them. And the king here, and this is South Suleiman, right? So I shouldn't say that because they get you confused because they say, what did I'm gonna leave that alone. Just take it. You can't erase it because that takes another area altogether. But the point is that they got, well, maybe I should no, I'm not gonna elaborate on that. The point is that they're not concerned about eating children. They're concerned about the deal that was made. You see what's going on here? So this is a common thing. And the reason why they say that the king is there, that's why I keep telling you, it's going to be by the law, it's going to be legal to eat children, illegal to eat people. That's why I keep telling you, they're going, as soon as they have famine, the government going to say, they 3/5 human, it's going to be legal, they're animals, so you can eat them. That's what, because they're not concerned about, oh man, what, you going to eat? It's normal. He's not concerned about the eating people. Eating children, I ain't concerned about eating children. I ain't concerned about it. That's not the concern here. Concern is that you agreed that you was going to eat, that y'all agreed that y'all eat. So you should follow the agreement and let me eat your son. And they're reading to show the king in here because that show is legal. He's not concerned about it. That's the law. They're not doing anything against the law. It's just that she's not following her agreement. Are you getting a picture here, brothers and sisters? It's going to be legal to eat you. It's going to be normal. It's going to be no problem whatsoever. Because that's going to be the law. Because the king said, hey, yeah. See, so what's in your mind? It says, she's telling him, she's telling the king that's what's going on. So it's you know, it's legal, it's easy. It's legal to do it. It's acceptable. It's not a problem whatsoever. There's no stigma whatsoever to it. See? Oh boy. So watch what happens here. So the king heard word, he tore his clothes, it was passed, and it was passed by the wall, and people looked, and he had sackcloth underneath his body. That gets the angel key, right? So I'm not going to that because that tells you something. That's a whole lot of information in that, but I'm not going to it, right? Because I move on, right? Then he said, may God do so to me and more so to the head of the son of, to my Elisha, right? So who's Elisha? Elisha is Farrakhan. He's the one that witnessed Elijah. Read the book by Elisha, right? He's the one that witnessed Elijah going on the chariot to heaven. And he's the one to tell Elijah he wanted a double portion of his spirit. And it was a conditional. If he witnessed, he would get it. If he didn't, but he never gets it. So you said, oh, you got to, I'm not going into that detail of a presentation about it. And that's what, so he blames Elisha. See? There's some demonics going on here. I'm not going into detail. But he blames Farrakhan for the deal being broken. See? Because what happens is demons are tricking. Again, they pull the tricks on the unsuspecting black folks, original people. That's what's going on here. See? Because she tricked her Edom, but you know, because that's why that's the situation here. This demon and okay. So that's why he blames Elisha. He said, May God do so to me and more so if the head of Elisha's son, right? Because he wanted to be head of Elisha during his time. Remember, Elisha represents the demons. And this during a demon war where they're going to be killed. That's if, right? He says, if his head remains, he says, may God do so to me and more. So if the head, so it's the same things happen to him, bad things happen to him, if they don't cut off Elisha's head. Yeah, talking about demons there. I'm not going into any more detail on that, brothers and sisters. And I think I'm pretty cut. I think I'm gonna cut it short here. Okay, here. And I will do this to thee which have not been done. So this is what the Quran says. They'll be chastised like they've never been chastised before. It also says in the Bible. Because all the evil done, the Holocaust, right? And whereunto I will not do any more. The lack of cause of the abomination. It means unprecedented. The hell they're going to suffer is unprecedented. It's not going to happen again. Right? Therefore the fathers shall eat the sons in the midst of thee. Right? And the sons shall eat their fathers. I will execute judgment in thee, and the whole remembrance of thee I will scatter into all the winds. Now in this particular case right here, this is the case the fathers eating the sons. They're talking about false Israel when they're under siege. That's the sign you're going to see, that they see men's hearts filled with fear of those things coming upon the earth because the powers have been shaken. So they're going to see that, and they know that's going to happen coming to America. Right? Fathers eating sons up, so they're not beating you over there because they might have you there. They have the ones that do have. Okay, I think that's it, bro. So I'm not going to go into. Do I want to go into this? No, because I've already done that. Well, I'll go into part of it. Let me think about it. I'm going to take a small break. Let me think about bounces because I'm not going to the whole part. I'm just going to go to a part of it. Okay, the fourth seal. Come on, the fourth seals here. There's 7 seals. We're talking about the fourth one. Oh, that's the wrong place here. Okay, the fourth seal. It's 4 seals. So I'm going to go through this rather quickly, right? Because this is an injury what explains it in detail. Now, when you read the 7 seals, right? When you get to the 4th one, it says they were given authority upon the 4th of the earth. There's 4 things there: to kill in long sword, and in famine, and in death, and by the wild beasts of the earth. There's 4 things there. So what are they talking about? It's in that particular order. What are they talking about? The horses. The 4th seal, because the first represents authority, right? And second was killing by a sword, it tells you there, right? And third one has something to do with famine, right? And then the fourth, that's what we're talking about. So what they're saying there, when they're talking the fourth, it relates to, you have to go back to the first four seals to figure out what they're talking about there. So let's look at it. Let's look at the horse, the white horse. The white horse is all about authority. Let's look at it. The white horse is all about authority. See? Now there was it says there was someone riding on a white horse. And that's it right, that's Obama. See, it's an African, the white horse represents, the first one represents the African nation, right? That's the white horse, because remember, you see the barley, the white, that's the white horse, the first barley. They also call horses, they're all called barley also, right? They're also called demons. That's the white one, then you see the fiery red under it, then you see the black one, then you see the greenish yellow, which is greenish yellow, is not pale. But they also call horses, right? So I'm gonna leave them as barley because they call barley sometimes too, and wheat. So it's an African sitting there. That means there's an African. Remember, this is over 1/4 Earth. Now, 1/4 Earth, we're gonna find out what 1/4 Earth is in a minute, right? Because it says the Earth represents. You see the bottom down there. You see America, Britain, and Russia, and EU. That's the Earth. There's 4 parts to it. Down underneath, there's the Earth. The sackcloth down at the bottom right now is for the nation, but they usually in between the heavens and earth. That's what they call in chapter 19 mid-heaven. But America, Britain, Russia, and that's the Earth. So it said this person would have authority over 1/4 of the Earth. That means they would have authority over it. And it'd be a black person, not just black person, but African. That's Obama. He wasn't just black, he was African. He's not one of us. His father's African. He's not one of us. And it says he would have authority. So that shows you who that 1/4 Earth you're talking about is. So they go for a conquer and a conquer. These 2 conquerors. First, the President of the United States, the authority over America, because no other European country ever had an African, or even a black person for that matter, as ruling them, except for America. So that's how I identify that fourth, right? Says, and that's so that's he's the one to start JCPOA, which has the Shia, which is sackcloth, the 2 witnesses, right? They also called sackcloth. Then the foot of the nations. So they're under control of the UN for 3.5 years. I'm not going into detail about that. Anyway, that's what that is right there. So now we know who the first one is, the first horse. See? Now then that first one identifies who they're talking about there. What 4th Earth they're talking about America. So the second one says that, remember, this all happens to that 4th of America, that 4th of the Earth. All these things happen to them. So to kill them on a sword. Okay, what's that? Okay, this is what this will be, right? It says, it's be open up the seal second herds, let me say, be coming. And now another fire red horse, second point was given him to take peace out of her. It means this is, remember the first that has authority. So we know what's going to happen after Obama. It's president, it's going to happen after his term, right? After JCPOA, right? And it says, this one takes peace from the earth. That means there's going to be a war that takes peace from the earth, right? See? But we know that when the second was, that's Asia part. See? And then on top of that is Arabs. We say war, that's the Arabs, because they're part of Asia, but they're the Islamic part. The golden part, each nation, top part, that's the Islamic part. So that's where the peace is taken in that area, in the Middle East. Peace is taken, that means they get in a war in the Middle East, and peace is taken, so America not at peace anymore, because that's where the war starts, right there. But where does it end up at? It says, take peace from the earth, in order that one another they will slaughter. But Europeans not slaughtering each other in the Middle East. That's why I say the war starts there, but it triggers the war of Armageddon in Europe. So there's 2 things here. Take peace from the earth in the Middle East, which triggers a war of Armageddon, where they start slaughtering each other. They're not slaughtering each other in the Middle East. They're doing it in Europe. Okay, so that's the second part. Okay, Let's keep on going. So now we get to the third part. Remember, famine and death. Now, what's famine and death? So during this time, it'd be a famine and death. Death represents the, right, European, Oriental countries, right? So let's go here and see what that is. Death and famine. Now see, that's right here, right? Death, but that's Oriental countries. That's death. Okay? So now you think death is the fourth horse, but you better read it again, transliteral, the one above it. That's death. See, I told you that's the one's going to put them under siege because of the famine. They're the ones that put them, I'm going to tell you that, they're the ones going to put them under siege, but they put them two together. Death and famine. China, back followed by India. That's the goat, which is also the leopard in Daniel, which is yellow brown spots. They're the ones who put them on the siege, which that's going to accentuate the famine. See? But this is what happens here. When you open up the seal of the third, I heard the third living say, "You come," and I saw it look, horse black, and sitting upon it, having yoke in hand of him, and heard a voice in the midst for the living saying, "Shillings of wheat," I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, "for a denarius, and 3 shillings of barley for a denarius. All in the wine should not treat unrighteously." Now you come into barley and stuff. See, the barley, remember, somebody has sold, somebody called it chaff or whatever, but also barley, right? So you got barley, and you got, I showed you before, right on the fourth of the America, right? You got the other barley, that's the greenish yellow, and then under Britain you got the black, that's the wheat. So you got 3 demons and 1 wheat, 1 original. That's the Nation of Islam, right? But it's saying 3 for 1. So that means the wheat is more valuable than the barley, because you get 3 times much wheat for what you pay for the barley. That means that was expensive. That was worth something. The barley wasn't worth anything to whoever you talking to here, right? And it says, "Do not treat the oil and wine unrighteously." So why do they say that? Because they must be treating the barley and the wheat unrighteously. But remember, this is time of famine and death. Death is keeping the famine. The siege is causing the famine, right? But there's probably no food. On the siege, there will be no food. On the siege, there will be no food. That's death, and death is the one causing the siege. You understand? But yet still there's food. Somebody's trading food here. Well, how can it be? If there's no food, then how can they be trading food? Well, that's what barley and wheat is. Because you're the barley and the wheat. You're the food. And they be trading your food just like you go into a store and say go to a live market. I want that chicken over there, and they cut the chicken, cut them up for you. Or I want that pig, or you want that cow, and they cut it up. That's what's going to happen to you, brothers and sisters. If you're here, listen to Farrakhan. If you're here, that happened to you. That's why I tell you to flee. So during this time, right? See, I tell you to flee, because now you see false Israel about to go down. You see it's happening to them. That's why you have it here. You see false Israel on siege, right? And they're suffering it. So when you see that, because they're going to suffer it, you flee, because that's about to happen to you here. Because you're the barley and the wheat. They're going to be eating. Because how can you treat, they're not talking about food there, because how can you treat food unrighteously? See? I'm going to kick your ass, hot dog. No. See? I'm going to smack the shit out of you, hamburger. How do you treat food unrighteously? That's why it's saying it, because they talking about you. And they have you corralled. Those you did catch. Have you corralled? You gonna be over there, and people come in and say, "Okay, man, I'll give you some shekels, right, for that female over there, man. You see that tender meat, and bring her baby. I pay extra for her baby, because man, that's easy. That's real tender meat." You think that's not gonna happen? That's telling you right here it's happening. It's right there in the angel. I showed you in every place in the Bible. I showed you some place in the Bible. They talk about the same thing. And now here's the angel, and you break it down. What else is it saying? That's exactly what it's saying there. Because famine and death, and that's it. It'd be, when they invade, they're going to cause a siege. And there it is right there. See? So it said the Africans, will be African that have authority over America. It's going to be the Asians, right? And Middle East has caused the war, started, right? Take peace from the earth. And it's going to be, right? The Orientals that's going to have America under siege, famine. And you're going to be the food. There it is, brothers and sisters. So we got another explanation. Then we go to the last one, the fourth force, and then we're going to wrap it up. See, there it is. That's why I say flee now. That's what telling you, flee. All blacks come together, flee. That's the harvest, and that's where we separate the demons out. We throw the barley. He says you're gonna put the wheat in the barn, and you throw the barley in back in the fire. So when the blacks come together, then because they after all blacks. We black. You weigh 3 fish human, right? You food. And here it is right here. That's the start of the demon war. They throw them back to the devil daddies. That's Mark. They separated, kicked out. Throw back to the devil daddies. Right? So now you got a demon war going on here in America. See? They're trying to take America. They got 2 agendas. To keep from being eaten and take America. They say America's at what, 17 million of them? There ain't gonna be no food. They right? They're not gonna be, who they gonna be eating? There's not gonna be the food, there's not gonna be electricity. They ain't staying playing no video games. Family, women, everybody's out there fighting for their lives, and they think they can take America, and they try to convince us to go with them. Because there's 17 million of us, 17 million of them. They figure we all right together. No, we getting the hell out of here. As you see right here, because the Shia, remember I said cloth that represents the Shia, and that means they're not coming over here, so we're going over there. And demons left here. Read the book of Mark. Okay. And they've been eaten, and they get slaughtered after 5 months. The locust war, or demon war goes 5 months. That's the locust war I talked about in Daniel, in India. After 5 months, right, in the war, they finally destroyed, they finally defeated. Same time, right, that they move in, destroy America. Remember, they have the America under siege. They have America under siege. They just move in and destroy it after 5 months. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. So let's move on. I think that's it. Oh yeah, one more here. Then we'll it. That's the last one. And by the wild beasts of the earth. See, that's the last part. Remember, the earth represents European countries. So what does that mean? That means America will be betrayed. They're war in Europe, and the EU turns against them. They're the wild beasts of the earth. So they fight with Russia and their former NATO partners, their former UU. America's will be betrayed. I told you that. So they're going to be betrayed. So they're getting their ass kicked over there. They've been invaded by China and India under siege. And they also got a demon war going here in America, which is worse than that, actually. It's going to be a race war, but it's going to be a demon war. And any foreigners, they're going to be eaten. Any foreigners out there, if you know, like I know, you should be getting a ticket to get the hell from India and China. You should be getting a ticket to get the hell out of here. Because the scripture tell you, if you found anyone who's found a foreigner in the country, will be cut to pieces during that time. Anyway, I'm not looking out for you. That's your business. I'm just telling you. It's not a warning. I'm just letting you know. I don't care if you say here or not. So yeah, I'm looking out for my people. That's it, brothers and sisters. I lost my voice again. Let's see what we have here. Oops. Oh. Way back to 6 Hill again. So I'm not go. I'm gonna leave it there, bro. So I'm not going into more detail here. think that's it. Yeah, that's it, brothers and sisters. I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you for listening. I may do a couple more on this one, because this is days away, brothers and sisters. It's family. If you haven't, I hope you got something out of this. Are you paying attention? And some people say, oh, they got this idea, I'm gonna go to Africa. Oh, okay, only way you get out of here, brothers and sisters, if you're in the Lamb's Book of Life. The Farrakhan had the Lamb's Book of Life. The Silas have it. The T.A. Jakes have it. The Billy Graham have it. Rich Wise, Holland, they have it. Tell you, brothers and sisters, only way you're gonna get out of here. It's up to you. But 145,000 they can be raised. As soon as that war starts, they're raised. Mighty army. And they're taken out of here because they're in the Lamb's book. If you're not in the Lamb's book, you're not going. You woke up too late. That means you gotta go to tribulation. You gotta go see all this stuff up close and personal. I'm not going into details. So what are we going to eat? I explained that in the previous one. So if you want to know about all that, look at the previous one. So if you, brothers, says, I'm going to leave it there. Assalamu alaikum. I have to leave anyway because my voice is all but gone.